Welcome to this video on organizational roles and functions in the context of informal settler families, or ISFs, resettlement housing. This video covers the Informal Settlement Upgrading and Relocation Coordination and Capacity Building Workshop held at the Ateneo School of Government in February 2015. The outline for this video includes the NAPC mandate and functions, the P50 ISF Fund for NCR danger zones and waterways, and institutional issues and opportunities. The objectives of this video are to initiate discussions on stakeholder views regarding the transformability of informal communities, intensify the roles of housing agencies in ISF resettlement, and identify the pre, actual, and post-resettlement process. The National Anti-Poverty Commission, or NAPC, was created by virtue of RA 8425, the Social Reform and Poverty Alleviation Act. It was created through the advocacy of the basic sectors. RA 8425 institutionalizes the government's social reform agenda, strengthening partnerships between national government agencies and the basic sectors. This diagram shows the NAPC's organizational structure. NAPC coordinates, oversees, and monitors government agencies and the private sector, recommending the formulation and implementation of social reform policies. It also ensures meaningful representation and participation of basic sectors at all levels of government. NAPC's program thrusts focus on the poorest of the poor, prioritizing interventions in the poorest regions and provinces. They also emphasize people's participation and empowerment, and the rationalization of poverty reduction programs. This scene lists the various basic sectors and their corresponding lead agencies. These partnerships ensure coordinated efforts in addressing poverty and social reform. The process of selecting basic sector council members involves national sectoral assemblies, which convene every 3 years. Members are then elected to sectoral councils, which meet quarterly to establish consensus and interface with government agencies. Next, let's explore the state obligations on informal settler families, or ISFs, highlighting the legal and policy frameworks that govern their rights and treatment. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 25.1, affirms that everyone has the right to an adequate standard of living, including housing and necessary social services, as well as security in case of lack of livelihood. The International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, Article 11.1, recognizes the right to an adequate standard of living, including adequate food, clothing, and housing, and mandates states to take steps to realize this right. The 1987 Philippine Constitution, Article 13, Section 9, mandates the state to undertake a program of urban land reform and housing. This ensures affordable, decent housing, basic services, and employment opportunities for the underprivileged and homeless citizens. RA 7279, the Urban Development and Housing Act of 1992, aims to uplift the conditions of underprivileged citizens by providing decent housing, basic services, and employment opportunities. It also regulates urban land use and development and promotes people's participation. Other policy references include the Supreme Court Mandamus, the CHR Advisory on the Right to Adequate Housing, and several DILG memorandum circulars. The pre-demolition conference process is also a key reference. The social contract includes a 10-point covenant of the president with the urban poor. Key points involve no eviction without decent relocation, support for upgrading and in-city resettlement, and provision of basic services and housing budget. The right to adequate housing encompasses 7 elements: security of tenure, availability of services and infrastructure, affordability, habitability, accessibility, location, and cultural adequacy. It also includes the right to the city, which focuses on social inclusion. Moving to government programs, we focus on the P50 billion Informal Settler Families Fund for National Capital Region Danger Zones and Waterways, which is a significant initiative. Data for the National Capital Region shows that there are 581,059 informal settler families, with 104,219 in danger areas and 19,440 along major waterways. Disasters worsen their living conditions, trapping them in a cycle of poverty. Of the approximately 60,000 affected ISFs living along waterways in Metro Manila, the categories are organized with a people's plan, organized without a people's plan, and unorganized. This map illustrates the distribution of informal settler families across the different local government units in Metro Manila, with corresponding numbers of ISFs in 2012. The P50 billion housing program includes standard government policy guidelines for resettlement. Core strategies are the People's Plan, on-site, in-city, near-city hierarchy, and participatory and human rights-based approaches. This scene illustrates the flow and process of the P50B fund and its implementation. This is a diagram of the Modified or Rapid Resettlement Action Plan process, illustrating the steps involved in planning and execution. The next scenes will cover the roles of the various stakeholders involved in this large-scale housing and resettlement initiative. The ISF National Technical Working Group structure for the P50B ISF fund includes several committees, such as social preparation, site selection, evaluation, and finance, as well as implementing agencies and local project management teams. Finally, we consider institutional issues and opportunities related to the implementation and sustainability of these programs. Opportunities include technical assistance for people's organizations in creating people's plans, the role of a genuine local housing board, presidential proclamation of government lands, and the Comprehensive Land Use Plan and National Land Use Act. Strategic issues for shelter planning and budgeting include inventory of beneficiaries and lands, site identification, land acquisition, provision of basic services, and ensuring full implementation of RA 7279, particularly regarding relocation before eviction. The Local Housing Board, or LHB, is a crucial mechanism for localizing government programs on land and housing. Its functions should involve comprehensive planning and budgeting, translating into components of the City Development Plan and other local plans. An urgent question is, what is the catch-up plan? This involves actions to fill the gaps: the budget for the Social Preparation Committee, coordination between the ISFNT-WG and DILG ISF team, DILG PMO as the lead for monitoring, and the program localization system. Thank you for watching this video. This image provides an illustration related to the ISF program. The source is a presentation report from August 6, 2015. This visual representation further details aspects of the program, drawing from the same presentation report. Here is another relevant image from the presentation, providing visual context to the discussion. This slide provides additional visual content pertinent to the ISF program. The final visual in this series offers more context on the program's components and related activities.